Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Astrid and I am the owner and creator of Snug Stitches by Astrid. I design and create amigurumi. Today I thought I would get through my yarn stash just a little bit more. So I've got over on the side here, I'll see if I've got, yeah, there we go. These are all yarn scraps. So I've got tiny little bowls of yarn, and then I've got like the big kind of jumbled up yarn, and I've kind of organized them into vibes, into color schemes. So I thought maybe because I've got so many little bowls of yarn, I need to use them in a project that isn't just going to be put aside and forgotten about. So I've got all even though gorgeous yarn, I want to get through the little ones so that it kind of gets rid of a lot of the clutter in my storage. So what I think I might make today will be a few granny squares. I want to make a work bag, like a project bag. I think I saw one earlier today that had 16 squares, and it's like in a rectangle, and then you did the straps on top, and I thought that looked really cute. So might as well use up the yarn scraps that I'm never going to use on any other projects to make this bag. So let's go through all of my yarn scraps and kind of pick out some colors. I don't know how much yarn it's going to take, and I don't know what colors I'm going to use. I just know that I would really like to get through a lot of the clutter that I've got. So with that being said, let's go through it. So as you can see, I have this whole big box of yarn scraps. So I've got this bag that's kind of got like beiges, really earthy colors, a couple of yellows, couple of like reddy browns, and I think maybe one or two variegated yarns. So I'll pop that one aside. Then I've got jumbled yarn that I'm going to have to cake before I use. It's quite messy, unfortunately. I didn't think about how I wanted to get these stored, unfortunately, but we'll put those aside. Then I think we've got some more colourful sorts of yarns, mostly variegated. These could make some really cute standout squares. And we've got some more. I'm not sure what my colour coordination was with this. I think it was more variegated as well, but I've got some different sorts of shades and colours in there. Some bright and colourful yarns. And what's in this one? Chunky yarn. So I don't think I'm going to be using chunky yarn for this. I think I'm just going to be using double knit and worsted. But we'll see if we've got any use for these. Whereas in the box, I've got other yarns like this one here, which would be nice to use. So I'll pop that aside. I just need to cake the rest of these up. I know it's so messy, but I'll get it sorted. So I reckon as I've got the majority in these colours, I'm going to pick earthy tones. So with that being said, I guess we'll have to start making the granny squares. Okay, so the squares, I'm not going to have like a regular pattern like dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, or browns going into greys. I'm just going to use whatever I can use. Yes, it'll look jumbled, but that's the beauty of scrap projects. I think if I use the same kind of colour scheme, it'll look cohesive regardless of how I kind of lay the squares out. So these are all the colours that I've chosen. Sorry about the glare, but they're very earthy, as I mentioned before. And I guess I'm just going to get started. I'm not sure how big I'm going to make the squares. I definitely don't know that yet. I guess I'm just going to wing it. Here we go. I changed into my pajamas because I honestly really wanted to get comfortable while I was working on these granny squares, because you're sitting down, you're changing rows, which is already tedious enough, and I just wanted to be comfortable. So feel free to judge me. I'm wearing my cute cat PJs I got for Christmas, so I'm comfortable, I'm happy. Anyways, update. So I have finished 7 squares. I need to weave in all the ends, which is going to be annoying, but all of them kind of have the same kind of color scheme, as you can see. I've got 7 of them. I think I need like 19, so I'm going to keep working on them throughout the night. I don't know what time it is. Hold on. It is 7 o'clock. Didn't mean to make you wobble there, I'm sorry. 7 o'clock p.m. It's still very bright out, as you can see, but the sun's starting to set, so I'm going to have to turn on my light soon and close the blind, which is right in front of me, because it's going to get incredibly bright. So what I'm going to do is I need to make 12 more squares, and I've made them slightly smaller than what I want them to be. I don't know how big they are. Hold on, measuring this. Hold on. They're about 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do instead of like sewing them together, I'm going to crochet them together. So I'm going to do a border around, and then I'm going to crochet. I think it's like crochet as you go. So it's going to be rows of 3. You'll see when it's done, but rows of 3. It'll be like a cute little handbag sort of size. I'm thinking for the border color and the brim of the bag, as well as the handles, I'm gonna just dig into my actual yarn stash, because I want that to be a solid color as opposed to multiple colors, just to make it look a bit more cohesive and less all over the place, as it's already kind of all over the place. So far I have gone through 9 scrap balls, so the bag is actually becoming a bit empty, so I'm making really good progress on actually getting through my scrap yarn stash, so I'm incredibly happy. I reckon I'm going to change the angle up a little bit maybe, and we'll just chat. Okay, so don't mind me, I've got my headphones on because I cannot crochet without listening to music. So what I was going to chat about is the fact that I've got a book coming out and I am so excited. I don't know if you've seen it before, but it's called Bushland Buddies Crochet the Outback, and it'll be full of Australian animal amigurumi patterns. So far what's been announced and shown, because I've written the patterns, are a kangaroo called Roxy, so Roxy Roo, and I've got Sammy the Sugar Glider, and I've also recently just finished Cooper the Crocodile, and I don't know if I can put a picture up, but I'll put it up here, of the 3, and I'm very, very happy with how they're looking at the moment. At this time, I've sent off today actually the pattern for Roxy to my testers, and they've got the pattern now. It'll be due on the 7th of February, so what day is it today? It's the 24th of January. So in just a fortnight from today. So they have to have it back by that time, which I have full faith in them, as most of them are actually previous testers of mine, and they did really, really well with the last pattern that they tested, which I think was Pip the Platypus, which isn't going to be in the book, unfortunately. But the other patterns, off the top of my head, I'm going to have like a Quokka, Galar, Kookaburra, Wombat. Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm going to have a lot more. There's going to be 12 altogether. But right now, while I'm focusing on crochet, I can't really focus on so many different things, unfortunately, as much as I'd like to. But I am extremely excited. I've got a mailing list that you can sign up to, where you can be the first to learn more about my book. You can go to my website for that, which will be down below. And you can sign up. You'll get a 15% off discount code to use on my website that you can use on any order. So if you're looking to get a discount and you're looking to support me, sign up. It's free. So with these squares, I'm using a 3mm. I'm using my 3mm clover hook, and I'm using just any yarn scraps that I pick out of the bag. It's like a lucky dip. I don't pick and choose. I just pick up a yarn and I use it. I'm keeping a tally of how many yarn scrap bowls I go through, and at the moment it's at 9. So I'm getting through it. I was going through my UFO box, so my unfinished objects, I think that's what it stands for. My whip pile, basically. And I came across like 15 granny squares, probably even more. Yeah, definitely more like 25 granny squares that I made, and I've honestly forgotten what I was gonna use them for, really. So I've got pink ones made with, I think, the pink Mandela Ombre, the Lion brand yarn. And then what other ones have I got? I've got some greens, I've got some blues, I've got a few Christmas squares, I've got Halloween inspired squares, I've got a few really big squares and really small squares. So I think I'm just going to, if this bag turns out well, which I'm winging, by the way, I'm not following a pattern. If this bag goes well, I'll make them into more bags and I'll put them onto my online store. So if you want a bag, if I end up making them, then head to my website. You never know, they might be up there. So each square, hold on, I've got a knot, of course. As soon as I start talking, I've got a knot. So each square has 5 rounds, and each round is a different yarn. So I've got tons of ends to weave in, unfortunately. I don't think I really thought about that before I started. But that way I'm getting through as much yarn as I can. So, and all of the yarn cuttings, like the ends, they will be cut up into really small bits and either brushed out to spin into slubby yarn, or to stuff my amigurumi, because we don't waste yarn around here. I start each row with a standing double crochet, so I don't need to slip. Is it slip? Yeah, I don't need to make a slip knot and then slip stitch into the first gap. I can just start off with a double crochet. I find it's a lot neater than doing the slip knot, slip stitch, chain. And it's also just, I think it takes up less yarn. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong on that. I haven't measured it. But you never know. It's just easier. Alright, Well, I'm going to crochet some more. It is currently almost 10 past 7. And I'll meet you back. It's probably going to be dark when I come back. But I'll meet you soon. Hi everyone. It's 10:19 at night. I've just finished off all of my granny squares. So all I need to do now is weave in the ends and then join them, and then obviously like do the top, like the brim and the handles. But with the granny squares, all I need to do is weave in the ends. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I think I'm gonna go get a drink and start settling down for bed, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, it's the next day. I think it's somewhere, what time is it? It's 11 a.m. I had a sleep in because I had insomnia last night, so don't judge me. I'm usually up around 8:30 to 9. Anyways, I have just finished weaving in all the ends of my granny squares. And you know how I said I would do the crochet as you go, how I do a border and then I join them onto the borders. Well, I decided that would make it a bit too elastic, so I'm gonna do single crochets together to make it have a bit more texture, like it'll pop out and it'll be like a bit bumpy, and that's what I want. I feel like that'd look better than what I was envisioning. So I now need to figure out what color I want to do for the joining and the border. So I've got black, white and grey. I think I'm going towards the grey because it'll look less harsh up against the colors, whereas white would be too close to what I was using before. For some of the rounds I straight up used white, so I guess we'll see how it goes. See you a bit later when I make some progress. Okay, ignore the watery eye. Something's been irritating it and it's been quite painful actually. I don't know what it is. I think it might be a bit of sleep. Anyways, I'm almost done connecting all of the squares together. As you can see, I've done like a dark grey kind of border. Once I've done that, I'm going to do the top of the bag and then the handles. So I don't have a lot of space left on my phone. So for now, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do the border, like the brim, the handles, and I'll meet you back. Bye. Guys, I finished it. I finished my bag. Look at how gorgeous. Oh, I am so happy with it. So happy. Hold on, I'll see if I can push back. There we go. Look, I've got the handles. Look, and it's all scrap yarn. I mean, apart from this yarn, it was a full skein, but it's Semco Stallion 8-ply yarn. I think it's like $2 from Spotlight. It's just a yarn that I got when I first started crocheting and I just haven't used it. Just because of how shiny it was, I didn't think it looked great because it's low quality. But considering this bag is fully made up from scrap yarn, I am incredibly happy with it. It is made up from 19 granny squares, and I just single crocheted them together, as you can see. So I wanted it to be less stretchy than what I thought it could be if I just did the crochet along, like the crochet as you go thing, which I'm glad that I didn't, because this is already just a really nicely sized project bag. I think the single crochets that I did to join the squares together, one, it was less ends that I needed to weave in. Two, it used up less yarn, which was good because I didn't want to have to use multiple yarns to join them together. And three, it was just really quick. It was just really quick and really simple. Up the top, I did 5 rows of single crochet before I did the handles. I think I skipped like 35 stitches, so I skipped 35 across and then I chained 60, and then I just went back in and single crocheted, and I did another 4 rows on top of the handles, and then I went into the actual handle gap and I did 1 row of single crochet just to kind of stabilize it more than it would have been if I didn't, because I noticed that right in you can kind of see maybe there's like a little gap, and I was afraid that if I put anything heavy in the bag it could snap the stitch, so I wanted to restructure that with another row of single crochets. It also just makes it look more neat. But oh my god, I am so happy, so happy. So the final tally of the scrap bowls, put a guess as to how many you think I went through. I'll give you a second. Okay, have you put your guess in? Alright, well, we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26 scrap balls of yarn. When I first started this video, wasn't this bag full of scrap yarn? Look at that. It's gone through heaps. So I am just, I love this bag. It's going to be my new favorite bag for everything. I don't know whether I'm going to line it or not, or just keep it the way that it is, because, I mean, the inside's really neat. My only concern is if I don't line it, it could stretch, because crochet stretches over time. But if I put, if I put my little pencil case of crochet hooks in there, let's see, does it stretch? It doesn't actually stretch. It doesn't stretch as much as I thought it would. So I've got some fabric I can line it with if I choose to, but I think I might leave it for now. But yeah, thank you so much for coming along the journey of me getting through some of my scrap yarn. I am absolutely thrilled with this bag. I love the colors that I chose. I love that it's got through a lot of my scrap yarn. I've still got tons that I need to get through, so I might make another bag. I might make another bag and sell it on the store. I don't know. Keep an eye out on Instagram. I cannot speak today. I cannot speak. Keep an eye out on Instagram for that. I don't know if I'll make another bag. I've got a few other projects I'd like to do with my scrap yarn, but for now I'm going to leave you with this beautiful vision of this gorgeous project bag. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please press that like button and consider subscribing. I'd really like to hit 100 followers by the end of the year. I know it's the beginning of the year, so I do have a lot of time, but I would really like to hit 100 followers. Anyways, stay safe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!